You won't believe what happened when a shy maid greeted the CEO in sign language. What began as a quiet gesture turned into something that would change both their lives forever. The early morning light poured into the towering glass windows of the Orion corporate building. At the very bottom floor, in the shadow of a gleaming empire built on success and ruthlessness, a young woman moved silently through the lobby with a cleaning cart. Her name was Elara. Elara was 22, soft-spoken, actually, completely mute. Born with a condition that stole her voice before she ever had the chance to use it, she grew up speaking with her hands, eyes, and the kind of kindness that didn't need words. Life hadn't been easy. Her parents died in a car accident when she was 12, and she bounced between foster homes and underfunded schools until she turned 18 and aged out of the system. She got a job, any job she could find. And for the past 2 years, she'd been working as a night shift cleaner in one of the most prestigious corporate towers in the city. She was invisible. The executives walked past her like she was part of the marble floors. Until the CEO arrived one night, earlier than usual. Damian Wolf was known across the city for his sharp suits, sharper tongue, and a heart as cold as the building's polished stone. He was 34, brilliant, a self-made billionaire who clawed his way from poverty to prestige. But no one loved him. Not really. People respected him. Feared him. But affection? That was not something he welcomed. It was still dark when he entered that night. Elara was mopping near the elevators when the doors slid open and he stepped out. She froze. Her heart raced. Not just from fear, he was stunning in a brutal kind of way. Strong jawline, tailored coat, a storm in his eyes. He looked at her. She looked away. Then, slowly, cautiously, she raised her hand and signed, "Good morning." Damian blinked. He was caught off guard. It was such a simple thing. But no one had greeted him like that, kindly, sincerely, in years. He didn't understand the signs, but her eyes were gentle. Her smile barely there, shy. Almost apologetic. He nodded and walked on, brushing past her like nothing had happened. But inside, something had shifted. Just a flicker. The next morning, Elara arrived to find 2 suited security guards waiting by the employee entrance. "Miss Elara Quinn?" one asked. She nodded, heart pounding. "You're to come with us." Was she fired? Had she done something wrong? Her thoughts ran wild as she was silently escorted into the private elevator usually reserved for executives. As the elevator climbed, her anxiety grew. She tried asking questions with her hands, but the guards didn't understand her. She felt small again, like she did in foster homes, like the world could swallow her whole. The doors opened to the top floor. The CEO's office. Elara stepped in, unsure, her knees shaking slightly beneath her janitor's uniform. Damian stood at the window, back to her. He turned when he heard her enter. "Elara," he said, surprising her with the sound of her name. "I looked up your file." She flinched. "You're mute. You communicate in sign language." She nodded, unsure where this was going. He stepped closer. "No one's ever greeted me like you did yesterday. Not with fear. Not with flattery. Just, humanity." She blinked, stunned. "I want you to work with me," he continued. She didn't understand. "You sign." "I don't. But I want to learn." Her eyes widened. "I don't expect you to teach me. I've already hired an interpreter. But I want you to help me create something. A program. For people like you, intelligent, capable, but shut out of opportunities because the world doesn't accommodate them." Tears filled her eyes. "I want to build a division that focuses on accessibility in the corporate space. And I want you to help me lead it." Elara didn't know what to do. Her hands trembled. No one had ever believed in her like this. The weeks that followed were transformative. Damien brought in professionals to train Elara for an administrative assistant role, then promoted her into the company's first accessibility officer. Her job was to advocate, design inclusive practices, and bridge the gap between talent and opportunity for those who had been pushed aside. Damien, once known for his coldness, started attending sign language classes 3 times a week. He asked questions. He listened. And slowly, the staff noticed a change. He smiled more. He paused to look people in the eye. He made space for kindness. Elara, though still shy, bloomed in ways no one expected. She began leading presentations, using interpreters and slides to express her ideas. She designed workshops for managers. She organized hiring events focused on disabled candidates. And people noticed. Orion Corporation became a symbol, not just of success, but of social change. But not everyone was happy. Some board members felt she was just a maid and didn't deserve such influence. Whispers started. Doubts spread. One day, during a board meeting, an executive voiced what others were too cowardly to say. "This is all very sweet, Damien, but she doesn't have a degree. She doesn't have corporate experience. She's not qualified." Damien looked around the room and said, "Clearly, neither did I when I started." Silence. "She has something more valuable: perspective, empathy, and lived experience. That's what this company needs." The room fell quiet. No one challenged him again. Months passed. Then a year. Elara no longer wore a janitor's uniform. She wore smart blouses, carried a laptop, and sat at a glass desk on the top floor, just 2 doors down from the CEO. They became friends, unlikely ones. He taught her how to negotiate, how to read contracts. She taught him how to see people. They never dated. That wasn't the point. Their bond wasn't built on romance, it was built on change. On hope. On kindness. 1 year after that fateful morning, Damien stood on a stage at an international summit. He delivered a powerful speech about accessibility, and beside him stood Elara, translating every word in sign language to a global audience. When the applause came, it was deafening. Elara looked out into the crowd, not for applause, but for possibility. She thought of all the nights she cleaned empty hallways, unseen. And now, she was helping shape the world she once felt invisible in. The moral of the story? Sometimes the smallest gestures, the quietest voices, are the ones that echo the loudest. And when someone dares to treat another human being with dignity, everything can change. All it takes is a moment. A greeting. A choice to see. And from that moment on, the world might never be the same. The end. But the message lives on. Never underestimate the power of kindness, courage, and being seen.